So this is part 3 of Cockatrice spirits. So the next thing you will experience is monitoring spirits. It could be in the form of stalkers. God gave me like FBI agents, people who are monitoring you, trying to infiltrate your life, trying to see what your life is about, but they're coming with another spirit once again. And targeted slander. So once again, this is not just anyone talking about you. The only way I could explain it is when you actually go through this, you start to feel like, how dare you try to use that little bitty thing to try and bait me. The reason why God exposed this to me is because I remember when I experienced this in real life. This person bought me Smoothie King, I think twice or three times, little acai bowl, little $10 bowl. We went to TGI, I think, was it once? No, we went to TGI twice. And that's what the enemy was using to try and bait me. So it's like, you think I'm worth $50 worth of food, and you have the nerve trying to strike me like a cobra? You have the nerve trying to play me like that? So this is where you will start to find the low value men. Things like that insulting you, and it's like, you really tried it. You really tried it. I remember, let me not go with that example. But you know what I'm trying to say. Too early, too soon. You'll probably hear about that 3 years from now, or a year and a half again. But you know what I'm saying? It's targeted insult, calculated insult. So when you start to look back at it, you start to realize, okay, when Jezebel tries to feed people food sacrificed to idols, she's not going to give you, you know what I'm saying? She's giving you Wendy's 4 for 4. You know what I'm saying? She's not coming for you. She's degrading you with what she's giving you. You see what I'm saying? So this is something I'm speaking from experience. Because then when the snakes start coming out, you see what I'm saying? That's the thing that they use. You trying to exploit, you trying to da-da-da, and it's like $50 worth of food. You got me messed up. Highly insulting. So targeted slander is a slanderous spirit. So they start to insult you now. They start to belittle you. So you're looking at it and you're like, wow, the devil is using stalkers. The devil is attacking me. And the devil is slandering me with the way he's doing it. It's just like, think of it this way. Like, a bird has so many different things they could eat. But the enemy wants to come and get this spider. But it's like, you low value demonic spider, you is not all that. But they think that they have all that. So it's the same way when you're getting attacked by this targeted slander. They're going to come to you hard body, but it's all over something mad small, something so insignificant. Imagine the devil coming at you boldly like, boy, you got casted out of heaven, you nothing. The same way you saw how people with the cockatrice spirit live. They have nothing. But what was one of the things that I mentioned? They do what? They growl like a bear. They will attack you like a bear, even though they also mourn like a dove. Weak, weeping like a small, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how dare you? This is so what they typically do is they use all their time and energy to try and figure out how to take you down. This is the meaning behind these three spirits, or these three tactics coming together, is to occupy a person's time and energy to try and figure out how to take you down. They end up being snared by their attacks. Oh, being snared by their attacks will lead you directly to the devil. So those are all the points that I did. Hold on. So the reason that God had me to make this video was pretty much because this happened about a year and a half ago. One of the predicaments that I'm speaking about, also another predicament that happened soon after this, that in your room of sanctification, the enemy will come and try to attack you. Ooh. And pretty much the motive and the tactic behind that is to try and become a stumbling block to you. Okay, so back to what I was saying. The enemy in your room of sanctification is going to try and divert you. I'm not talking about like you in specific, but whoever this is for. The enemy is going to try and attack you in the place where you're now supposed to grow. Once you've already received your deliverance and you've received your discipleship, now God puts you in a place where he seals you off completely from those demonic, diabolical tactics of the enemy. And that is where the enemy is going to be targeting this specific child of God I'm talking about. So it's very important for you to, once again, be able to identify how the bait looks, be able to understand who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with, because this is something God warned me about when I was young, and I know for a fact I'm not the only one. That's why I'm even exposing this, because normally when it comes to warfare that is only specific to you, you don't want to expose those things, because then the enemy will know how to attack you. But this is cookie cutter biblical child of God. You got saved at a young age, you've been preserved type of warfare. So it doesn't matter if you're a child, you're an adult who has been restored to a child, it doesn't matter. You're going to be dealing with this. So I'm not going to expose exactly in specific what that looks like for me, but what the enemy wants to do is attack you and pose as something that you may need or that may be appealing to you, so that in your room of sanctification you're able to be devoured by this specific thing. So you will see demonic spirits coming out, you will see all different types of crazy things, and that's the goal of the enemy. So I don't know who this is for, but as God lifts you up, as God takes you far, as God delivers you, watch out for these cockatrice spirits, because you can go through as many deliverances as you need in order to preserve your soul. But if in your room of sanctification, in your room of receiving your sealing off, the enemy is able to attack you and enslave you, you now have to go back to the place of receiving deliverance instead of simply just being sanctified. So this is why it is so important. The enemy cannot reverse your deliverance for you, but he can attack you and entice you with things that will postpone it. And there is a certain time and a certain place and a certain provision. You know, there's a certain room that God will have you in for the time being in order for you to be sanctified. So if you don't utilize that, that time may very well pass you by. And that's how the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy your sanctification. This is why many times a lot of people, they say, I've been delivered from this spirit 100 times. I don't know what's going on. It's because the enemy is baiting you with the same thing in different ways. It's just that simple. So you have to identify the commonality, because the enemy can only push your buttons in so many other different ways. And what I mean by that is, if you're somebody who likes chocolate, the enemy is going to bring you chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream, chocolate sundae, chocolate covered fruit. You have to identify that it's this chocolate. So you got to nip that in the bud and receive your deliverance from that chocolate problem. So if it doesn't matter what type of chocolate the enemy brings you. And that is the thing that you have to work on. Hold on.